It's time to talk about personal injury here in Legal Matters this morning, and David Greene here to talk with us about it. David, you always give great advice. Someone trying to decide if they need to hire an attorney for a personal injury case, what should they know and who should they contact? Lots of choices out there as far as attorneys are concerned.
Well, that's exactly right. You want to ask the attorney if they have experience in your type of case. What type of case? Do you have an auto accident? Do you have a car crash? Do you have a fall? Do you have, what type of case do you have? You want to ask that lawyer if he's handled that particular case. Now, in an auto crash, you may have just a liability case, or you may have a product liability case involving a seat belt or a seat back. We're involved in a seat back case right now where a lady is severely injured. It's a horrible case against a major car manufacturer. And so you just want to ask that lawyer, has he handled this type of case before? It's so very important. They're great lawyers in Mobile that can handle all types of cases, but you just want to make sure that they've done that type of case.
And speaking of types of cases, Greene Phillips, you guys have handled a ton of personal injury cases. What types of cases do you guys work on?
Well, primarily auto crashes, industrial accidents, explosions, workers' compensation, any type of personal injury case. It doesn't have to be some large case for us to be involved. We have a number of attorneys in our office that handle smaller cases. Just because you think that, you may think we only handle large cases, and that's not exactly right. Yes, we do handle large cases, but we handle all types of cases. So all types of personal injury cases, we'll certainly be glad to talk to you.
Well, say someone has found an attorney that they're interested in. How do they make sure that their case is being handled the right way?
Well, they need to ask questions. ask the questions of what type of systems do you have in place that's going to keep the case moving. We all have thought about the idea of having if you have an attorney, you know, gosh, it may slow things down with my case, or why couldn't I handle it myself? And maybe that's the best route. You really need a lawyer if you're injured. Now, with that, you want to ask that lawyer, do you have a system in place that's going to move it? Moving the case is so important. We have a computer software. It's a proprietary software that we have that moves the cases. We may have 5, 6, 8 people working on the same case at the same time.
And a lot of people get confused when we're talking about verdicts versus settlements. Two different things there. Explain that.
Well, a verdict is when you've tried a case and gotten a verdict from a jury. A settlement could happen at any point in the litigation process. You could hire someone today, the case could be settled within about 30, 60 days, or the case may have to move forward because it may have problems. And that's basically problems, meaning like discovery problems or giving information to the other side where they can figure out kind of what the value is. But what happens mostly is generally cases settle. All cases settle at some point, whether you try the case or you settle the case. But Mobile, we have such great lawyers in Mobile. Both sides can generally work these cases out by getting together, sitting down, and kind of figuring out what the value of the case is. And so that's just valuable to somebody.
And covering cases here on the Gulf Coast, I know that you guys have actually had pretty notable settlements. We
have. We've been very fortunate to be involved in helping families for the past 16, 17 years. We've handled smaller cases, and we've handled cases up to 6, 7, and 8 figures. So we've been involved in some very large cases, and we've been able to help a lot of families.
Great advice from David Greene this morning. If you want to hear more about this, watch this segment again. Of course, check out Legal Matters under the Studio 10 tab on fox10tv.com.